your feet feel a connection. When you feel complete, then our hearts will meet and dance to the holy sound around. A million lights in a starry night feel a connection. When the ocean raves with roaring waves feel that connection. When you feel complete, then our hearts will meet and dance to the holy sound around. Dreams of memories, I need connection.
When I plan and scheme, a piper's dream, give me connection.
We're letting go, we're in the flow of the connection. When you feel complete, then our hearts will meet and dance to the holy sound around.
Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. We are a vibrant, inclusive, and spiritual community that seeks to live intentionally, love unconditionally, and see God in all people and in all faiths. We believe the work we do in prayer and in the community creates a world that works for all cultures, races, orientations, and faiths. For over 60 years, we have practiced thinking globally and acting locally to help awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Annually, hundreds of people actively participate in our services, classes, events, and in our Spanish-speaking ministry. And we are training the next generation of spiritual leadership in our ministerial school. In the last few years, because of apparent divisions politically and socially, and because of threats to basic human rights, we have magnified our application of Science of Mind principles with engagement and compassion in action in the greater Napa Valley community. Our members have participated in women's marches, pride events, and we have hosted speakers on racial issues. We have empowered and mentored diverse leaders in our community and given scholarships to diverse ministerial students. We have donated over 4,000 pounds of food to our local food bank. Our spiritual director, Reverend Jay Lang, has facilitated an interfaith leadership group to hold public prayer vigils and 9/11 commemorations in participation with Jews, Muslims, and Christians. We have fostered the creation of a beloved community in the larger Napa Valley area by honoring community heroes at events and tithing to and partnering with a dozen different nonprofits that share our vision. Together, we've created a Martin Luther King Day of Service where over 1,200 participated in community service annually. The leadership of our parent organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living, headquartered in Golden, Colorado, recognized our community for all of the outstanding, compassionate work we've been doing over the last few years with the 2022 Meritorious Community Award. As we move forward to do this work of the heart, to awaken the world to its spiritual magnificence, will you join us as we continue to ascend to new heights and create a world that works for everyone?
Good morning, everybody. So good to see everybody. I don't hear my volume. Is it going on? Okay, all right, there we go. That's a little louder. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Jay. I'm the spiritual director here, and it's so good to have everybody here on this beautiful, beautiful April day. I understand the rain is coming tomorrow, but today we'll enjoy the sun. And guess what? Tomorrow we'll enjoy the rain too, because that's who we are. So good to have everybody here today. I'd like to recognize Diana Egizi here to come on up and start us off with some music. If you haven't heard her yet, she's delightful guitar, and if you don't know what this is, it's a harmonium, and you'll hear that later. So join us, and the lyrics are on the screen.
Who we are is who we are, forever we are, divine souls. Who we are is who we are, forever we are, divine souls. As we learn and grow, as we learn and grow, we are opening our hearts to the divine flow. As we learn and grow, as we learn and grow, we're opening our hearts to the divine flow. Because who we are is who we are, forever we are, divine souls. Who we are is who we are, forever we are, divine souls. As we learn and grow, as we learn and grow, we are opening our hearts to the divine flow. As we learn and grow, as we learn and grow, we are opening our hearts to the divine flow. And in the light of this, in the light of this, all else falls away, and there is only bliss.
What is the last line again?
In the light of this, all else falls away, and there is only bliss.
Oh my, I love that. That's nice. That's nice. So welcome again. As the line says, who we are is who we are, but maybe your neighbors next to you don't know who you are. So if you could just turn and introduce yourself to your neighbors, please do that. So we like to begin our service with our vision and mission. If you'll turn your attention, and we welcome those of you who are online also to read with us on the screen in front of you. Together we say, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. A glorious affirmation for us today and always. I'll let you know a new phrase I've been hearing lately. A friend of mine at the convention a couple weeks ago talked about it's good to have a community, and we always say like-minded people, right? But he said love-minded people. So I think that applies to us, a community of love-minded people. So good to have that here. If you haven't, we are starting meditation before the service. It's kind of on your own. There might be a practitioner or myself out there, but generally just to take some peace before the service starts out in the courtyard. There's a great little cubby, a little hole back there, if you want to call it, with a couple of benches. So feel free to go back there. And really any time of the week, if you want to just find some peace among your day, the courtyard is open to do that. Feel free to do that. But also before the service starts, you're welcome to go back there and join others in that. Or on Zoom, there's also a way to join for the meditation on Zoom. We had a lot of events going on before, but right now all of our events are one. And that's what happens on May 2nd, which is our big Sip and Savor benefit. Compassionate Heart Awards we're giving away, premium wine tasting, savory food, raffle, silent and live auction. And the big thing is now is about tickets. We're going to have a lovely time to do that, but please, there's emails being sent out. Here's the people receiving the awards. And then, but to be a part of just to buy tickets. So you can today on the information table, there's a way to buy tickets either with a QR code for credit card or cash or check. You can buy multiple tickets. You can buy single tickets. Right now, there's a pre-event and bulk ticket or multi-ticket discount until the end of this month, and then they start to go up. So now it's time to get your ticket. It'll be a great celebration. Starts at 3 o'clock. Great food, great wine, great people. It'll be a wonderful event. So if you have any questions about it, information table, or see myself, or I don't think Karen's here. Karen's here this morning. Karen, do you have anything to say about volunteers?
We always could use more help.
We could always use more help, yes. So there are specific things that are needed now, and so if you'll go out there, there's a big whiteboard. Karen or Jeannie or somebody will help you find the place for you that fits you. And you don't have to be a volunteer for the whole event, so you can enjoy the event and be a volunteer for part of the event. We really appreciate that. We started the Conscious and Creative Process class, but we've had only one class, and I can catch you up if you're still interested in taking that course. See me afterwards, and I'll talk to you about how to catch up with that class. We still have 5 classes left. Really, really good class. You're going to hear about it some in my talk today because it's already just this wonderfully evolving class. So if you're still interested in taking that, see me after the service. And then on April 24th, Robbie Kawin has a wonderful concert here at the center. I think it starts at 6:30, right? It is a paid concert, and you can just pay at the door if you want to, or by Venmo if he's here to, I don't know his account, but he's just a wonderful musician, and people have enjoyed his music last week. And you can always, if you don't know who he is, go back on YouTube and watch him there, and it's a wonderful thing on that Friday night. And then we are founded on prayer and on finding that peace within ourselves. Because we know if we find that peace within ourselves, we can know peace in all of our lives. And if you're like me, I'll admit sometimes I'm there too. I have trouble finding that peace within. And that's the value of prayer. Either prayer request in the lobby or online, or to stay after the service with a practitioner and have them pray for you, because I've always found with a practitioner, what I can't know, they can know for me until I can know it. And it's a gift to be able to do that. So I invite you to do that. And so with this, we'll start our contemplative time of our service.
I am a blessing. I'm going to invite you to keep your eyes closed. We're going to make a little meditation. Take a deep breath and slowly release it. Relax your body and bring your attention to the moment, to this present moment. Now, recognize a blessing in your life, one of them, something simple, something real, and feel the gratitude in your heart. And let's breathe. And remember, you too are a blessing. Silently affirm, I recognize the good in my life. I express the best of myself with love. And remain in this peace for a few seconds. Express yourself with love. And when you are ready, open your eyes gently and carry this certainty with you. And so it is. Thank you, thank you. It's a blessing, really, it's being here with you. I'm always, when I'm in front of you, I'm fear that I don't please you. And because I grew up that way, I want to please everybody, and I want to be okay doing things. And, 2 weeks ago, I went to the convention, and it was beautiful. I never been to one, and this was the first time I was, and I enjoy every moment. And I even feel like I don't want to sleep. I want to keep going and going. And when I hear that topic of today is blessing and living with distinction, and that convention was a blessing for me. And then last week we had this Spanish service here, and another blessing. And being here that's what it is, blessing. So today I really invite you to reflect on something simple but very profound, and to distinguish, because blessing is just not something that I expect to receive. I believe is something that I learn to recognize. If I recognize it, I can be grateful and I can see the blessing that is coming to me. And when I focus my attention on that good, it's already present. It's already here. And life is like that. Life is peace. And if I see the presence of that and I recognize that, the good is begin and grow in my experience and keep growing. Because if I don't only see the bad parts, or I have an incident last week that I got frustrated because I didn't have something that I need to work with. When I don't have instructions in some service that I'm going to do, I get very frustrated. And I kind of demand when I'm asking, can you go get this? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I didn't feel it. But you know what? Everywhere is a spiritual teacher that it teach me. Stop. What you're doing is not okay. And I didn't recognize it still because I didn't need the things that I needed to provide a good service. And now I know that if I don't have instruction from somebody else, from the one who's asking me to do it, I'm going to do my own. And I have to be happy with that, and that's my plan. Because in living that distinction, it means better than I don't want to be better than others. I be distinguished in myself. and see myself from inside to outside. And I don't want to concentrate on what I see outside, but how I react to whatever it is. And that's my part, and that's my work, and that is what I need to do every time. It's not easy. It's not easy because last week it wasn't easy at all. But I notice when I combine these two ideas, something beautiful happens. By recognizing my blessing and raise my consciousness, and I live that with extension, I become blessed for others. And I would really like to keep going that way. I really like to keep learning. And believe it or not, I learned so much from the convention to now that I want to be better. I wanted to improve my wordings. I need to improve my thinking and my actions. So thank you for helping me, because you guys helping me to do all this. Without you, I don't think I can do it. And like I say, if I find somebody to scream at me, that's my spiritual teacher that is teaching me, you know. And but if I take it and I want to respond the same way, it's not working. It doesn't work for me anymore. So my kids came to me last night, and she said, and one of them said, "Mom, I don't know, but you are so peaceful." And it's how I am, and I want to feel that way. And so thank you very much for being here and going step by step with me. Thank you.
Let go of the masks you wear. Surrender to lay the essence bare. Naked in your truth, the presence of being, clarity and grace, bringing the healing. When you open deeper to who you are and discover at the center a radiant star, in your heartbeat your soul speaks what you know in your bones. You are guided, you are perfect, you are already whole. So come as you are, be as you be, divine holy child, unique spark of this mystery. So come as you are, be as you be, divine holy child, unique spark of of this mystery.
That's so beautiful, Diana. I just, I don't know about you, but what I hear her voice is the voice of Spirit. And just speaking to me that I'm a divine holy child and a unique spark of this mystery. And what I see is each of you are a unique spark of this mystery. So thank you for being willing to do this. And thank you for being a channel with your music, because that's one you wrote, I know. So it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So we begin this continuing this topic of being and becoming. And I keep bringing this to my meditation, this idea that we are being, this place of peace, this place of joy, this place of love, this place of oneness. I was wondering which one comes first, because often I feel peace and then I feel connected to the universe, or sometimes I feel connected to the universe and then I feel peace. Maybe it doesn't matter which one comes first. But I know for me to be a fully spiritual being on this planet, free to be, I need to find that peace and that oneness first. I mean, I could be out in the world and do whatever I want. I can function. I can do things that are on my list to do. But I'm not being that full, authentic self unless I be first. And I don't need to sit down and do meditation and figure it all out before I start my day. We can do it as we go. And the beautiful thing about this topic that we're talking about this week, which is part of the revolutionary agreements that we've been talking about. We're already on number 11, which is, we're just, time flies when you're having fun, right? So the 11th one is about looking for blessings in disguise. So this idea that there are blessings all the time, that when we agree to look for them, we find them, or at least agree to look for them. Whether we find the exact cause, maybe it doesn't matter, or the exact thing that's opening up for us, but we know there's something greater coming to us as we're looking for these blessings. Joel Fatimas, who's a writer and a publisher, does a lot of New Thought work, but does work of his own as well. Says it this way, that everything in our lives, without exception, is either a blessing or a blessing in disguise. So think of it as we have this beautiful day today. It's sunny. We're grateful. Even in the rain tomorrow, we'll probably be grateful for that, because our plants and our gardens and just our reservoirs need the rain. But then as soon as something changes or shifts, suddenly we're concerned and worried and only focused on that item. But in truth, it's a blessing too. It's just hidden. Our New Thought, the best way I describe it these days is that it is ancient wisdom, but modern thought. And this idea of a blessing in disguise is ancient. It's not something new. You hear a lot of writers maybe talk about it now, or me speaking about it, but it's ancient. The Jewish text, the ancient Jewish text, talked about a blessing or curse. You've heard that phrase, right? But if you go back to the Hebrew for curse, it means unveiled blessing, unveiled good. So it's just behind the veil. And we need to be willing to lift up the veil, or just trust that it will be unveiled in perfect ways. And don't be so caught up into that, oh, well, now, when's the next shoe going to fall? When's, things happen in threes, So just know that there's good in it. Now, I'm not one of these people that say that everything happens for a reason. It's possible there's a reason it happens. It's possible. But I just can't for certain say that everything happens in my life, because, especially when I start thinking about for a reason, I begin to think about that there's some entity out there that put it in my life so I will learn a lesson. And I don't believe in that kind of God anymore. What I do know is there's always good in what is. What happened may not because now I'll learn a lesson about it, but there is good and there's order in all things. So we know there's got to be order in that. Happens eventually. I don't know about you, but I have been thrilled with what's happened in Hungary, a switch democracy. And that it took, you can give a round of applause for that. It took an overwhelming majority for that to happen, because there was rumblings of it happening 3-4 years ago, and it didn't happen. But this was an overwhelming majority, and I believe that that's the voice of Spirit, wanting us all to be empowered, wanting things to be equitable, and we're free, we're liberated. We believe in a theology of liberation that allows that. I'm also heard on maybe you didn't hear this one because it wasn't in the news as much, but there's a memorial at Stonewall in New York, which is where the first protest against LGBTQ happened. It was a resistance to the police coming in and just arresting people randomly because they thought they were gay, They didn't even have any proof of it. They arrested them. And they stood up to the police, and that protest started that movement. And a few years ago, they wouldn't let them fly a pride flag anymore there. That has changed. And now they're back to flying that flag again and pride of being who they are, as we all should be willing to do that. And I think that is the voice of Spirit to continue. So if we find that there is some limitation in our lives, some resistance, some undesirable condition, continue to know that the new is flowing through you and allowing a greater you, a greater experience, a greater knowing in you, a greater wisdom. I found sometimes that which is revealed in me is a peace. Maybe there's not a solution for it, Maybe there's not a perfect way, or I do love fixing things, but some things aren't fixable. Some things just are. And if we can find a peace and a love and acceptance, a compassion for ourselves and for others, then to me that's enough. And maybe in time things will shift. But I have to find that peace, that acceptance first, before anything else can happen, at least in my life, that's true. This week I was outside doing some things at the center, and if you're not here during the week, or if you're online most of the time, you don't realize that during the week, this is a noisy place lately because of the construction going on there. And it's been going on for months now, and I've just accepted it. But for some reason this week, it just really irritated me, and I just really got frustrated with it. And why is it so noisy? It was supposed to be quieter sooner. And why is this? And then I go, wait a minute. Why suddenly am I irritated by this? So what you notice is when something shifts in you, or you overreact to something, or somebody else overreacts, something shifts that's out of alignment, or out of harmony, or out of peace, then it wasn't about the construction, right? Like I said, it's been going on for months. It was in me, there was not a space. I was just so busy, so nose to the grindstone, that I hadn't pulled back any and recognized there wasn't space to allow for shifts like that to happen, for things to change, for conversations to happen. There was also a UPS driver, or not, Amazon driver, who came and blocked our driveway, and Mary had trouble getting out, and I kind of said something, hey, you're blocking our driveway, and he goes, yeah, I'm busy. I got to get this delivery. I go, oh, okay, all right, well, we can talk kindly, and he goes, yeah, whatever. Well, the more I talk to you, the longer it takes, I said, okay, and I realized I was going to get nowhere in this conversation, so I simply said, have a great day. And he looked at me, goes, "You too." Okay, that's the best we could do in that moment. I'm going to take that, right? And sometimes we just expect too much out of life in some ways. And so this idea that we allow this greater experience within us, we allow it to unveil, we allow it to unfold. The schedule we put on things to shift and change is unrealistic all the time. There's a part of us that just wants it now, or wants it, well, in 2 weeks it better be different, you know. It may not be. We walk forward in peace and continue to affirm, continue to set our intentions for that which we are seeking to experience. And it may come in a different way than we expected. Because what we have to realize, it's not only us creating this life and these experiences, it's 7+ billion people on this planet. And like me and the UPS driver, we found our peace. It took a moment. It wasn't exactly the way I thought it was going to turn out, and we found peace. Enough peace. Perhaps that's something that stayed with him, but I'm not attached to that. The main thing is stayed with me. That I wasn't upset at this guy anymore. Some part of me came out there because I saw him, Mary trying to get around him, and he said something to Mary that was, so I was kind of a protector mode anyway, and I had to drop that stuff, That's like, come on, We're just all people here, So the agreement is that you look for blessings in disguise. You just agree to that. Does it say, well, I have to find those, what is this lesson I'm trying to learn, or what is this revealing? No, you just look for it in an open, a softness, and allowing. Know that all is unfolding. I want to tell you, there are times in my life when it feels like I'm out of control. And those are the times that I'm grasping for straws. I came across this video, this quick clip from the pilot of the Artemis 2, which I don't know about you, but I've been captivated by that story. Really fun to hear the crew there. But this pilot was being interviewed, and I just love the way he described this. I'm going to play this video of him because it feels like my life sometimes. I don't know about you.
That was a very intense 13 minutes and 36 seconds. When the drogues cut away, we went back to free fall, and watching that on the video felt almost the same way it felt in the vehicle. I would tell you, I've never been base jumping, I've never been skydiving, but if you dove off a skyscraper backwards, that's what it felt like for 5 seconds. And then the pilots in the mains came out, and it was glorious.
Yep. Okay, we'll take our next question right here. Go ahead.
So I just thought that was a good metaphor for life sometimes. And I don't know if you ever fallen backwards any time. I mean, sometimes you might have been to these workshops where there's a trust fall, where there's people waiting for you to fall, and you have to fall backwards. And it's the hardest thing to do. Like part of the instruction, I've never known anybody to get hurt actually falling, but the main time people get hurt is when you're falling and you splail out, right? So you really have to hold on to your arms so you don't do that, and you trust the people are there. To me, this is spirit. Spirit is the parachute, right? Spirit's got us. We're not going to fall hard. There may be a period of fall. There may be a period of chaos, a period of not understanding, a period of not knowing, and Spirit has us. And we slow down ourselves so we can let Spirit be that parachute. No, we're not panicking. We're not splailing around going, I don't know what I'm doing. It's all good, but I don't feel all good right now. So there's a way that we talk about affirmative prayer as a spiritual practice. And I love this way. I've talked to my class about that this week, and I learned it a few weeks ago. I might have talked about it already, but it's good to reiterate. So we talk about the affirmative prayer as being a 5-step process, right? 5-step. And there's a real easy way to think about it. First of all, the first step, which is not really counted, it's, when I did practitioner training, they go, wait, you mean there's really 6 steps? But this is just like where you start from. And that's like, I don't know the way forward. I don't know how to create this spirit universe. Help me understand. Show me a way. So it's an openness, it's a surrender, it's falling backwards, and just allowing yourself to be caught. And the first step is, number one, is there is only one. That's all there is. Despite appearances, there's only one. We are all one. Two is what appears as different is really one. So, Spirit and me are one. The two of us are one. Who I might be having a conflict with or feeling disconnected from, or my bank account and I are feeling disconnected, or a situation I'm feeling, or I'm just feeling kind of some angst, some anger, some upset, are separated. It's all one, right? So step two is knowing all and Spirit are one. Three is knowing what's inside of me, to find that peace within me, that joy, whatever experience I'm looking for. If I'm looking for love, I'm looking for connection, I'm looking for prosperity, find it within myself first of all, and know that through me, it comes out and I experience it in the outer world. We know that's true because there's only one, right? So if I know if that's the way of the divine, and I can feel it, I can know it in my body and my soul. And sometimes we see it in pictures, sometimes we hear it in words, sometimes it's a knowingness, but I can experience it, then I can know it, that it's happening here. And even sometimes if I don't know it in my soul, I know it is a quality of divine. I know it's possible to feel that, so I'm still going to claim it for myself. Or I claim it for a situation or a relationship. Whatever it is, I'm claiming that godness, that goodness for myself, for all people. And four, the universal American Sign Language for thank you is this, right? Coming from the chin out. And so it is thank you. I'm so grateful for things. I'm grateful for that Spirit is in my life, that Spirit is moving, that the laws of this universe support this creation of this. And I know this is true, and it's from me that I express this gratitude. Or maybe like the Italians, the way they express food. Yeah. I'm so grateful for all that I'm experiencing. All of life is so wonderful. Is that a Spanish thing too? I don't know. But it's kind of universal in some ways, yeah. So it's gratitude. And then finally, five is I'm letting it go. I'm releasing it and letting God guide me. Not trying to use my personal will, but Spirit through me that guides me, loves me, directs me, connects me to that which I'm seeking. And from that place, all sorts of things open up in my life. It's like 3 hours later, I'll be going, oh, that's it. Or I'll run into somebody, make a connection, or some synchronicity will happen. Because that's the way, the flow of life. It doesn't come necessarily in that. Sometimes I receive direct information at that time, and sometimes it's later. But it's this idea that we continue to open up in this way. Now, I will say that sometimes some experiences in my life are what I would call an AFGO or an AFGI, which is an acronym for another frustrating growth experience. Because I know God is good. I know that Spirit through me is going to learn something from this situation, but right now it's really frustrating. So another frustrating growth opportunity. Great. Thank you so much. Right? But it is. I know that there is orderness in our lives. I love what Julie Cameron said. Julie Cameron is the author of Artist Way, and she's also part of the book wrote the book The Listening Path, which we're doing in class. And she said, we open ourselves up to exploring our creativity. We open ourselves to God, good, orderly direction. Now, first of all, when we read this quote in class the other day, we were a little confused by it until we figured out that good, orderly direction is actually an acronym for God. that God is always, Spirit is always this order in our lives that we can find. Does that mean everything is orderly in our lives? No. It means the Spirit that we can find within is this peace and this calm and this joy. Julie Cameron also says, God does not, she is told that by other people that God does not give us more than we can handle. But I wonder if God doesn't overestimate me just a little. But then she goes on to say, or perhaps, and this is likely, I underestimate God. Now, the quote kind of it sounds dualistic, that God is outside of us, that God gives us something. And that's okay if that's what her beliefs are, but my own beliefs are the universe. I ask for things in my life. I have intentions and things show up in my life so I can manifest those, so I can create those. And it may look like another frustrating growth experience to me. And it's the way I grow deeper, the way I become more compassionate, more loving, more creative, more powerful. It was my intention. That's what I want. Sometimes things happen that create that. The universe, I draw those things to me because I know the peace I seek is also seeking me, right? So in this way, we can find the things that are opening up to us and know that we can be aware of our lens or our perspective. If you think about it as a lantern that has the light lit, the wick is lit in the middle of the lantern, but the lens on the outside is cloudy or darkened by the fire, smoot, and that we need to clean that lens sometimes, or at least be aware of what's going on with that lens, aware that this is our perspective. I love what Mark Nepo said about this, is he said, we waste so much energy trying to cover up who we are beneath every attitude, when beneath every attitude, every anger is a wound to be healed, and beneath every sadness is the fear that there will be not enough time. When we hesitate in being direct, we knowingly slip something on, some layer added protection that keeps us from feeling the world, and often that thin covering is the beginning of a loneliness which, if not put down, diminishes our chances of joy. So these layers are layers of the lens we put aware of us. He also says that that sometimes peace keeps us, that we can always feel this peace at times, this gratitude and joy. But then some misery happens, something happens, and it begins that we lose our perspective, or our perspective just focuses on that. For example, he says if we get a splinter, then all we're thinking about is that splinter, no matter how wonderful the day is. And even while the day has the same number of miracles, now we're focused on this splinter. So his quote is, misery is a moment of suffering allowed to become everything. So when feeling miserable, we must look wider than what hurts. When we feel a splinter, we must, while trying to remove it, we're not passively, we do try and remove it, remember that there is a body that is not splinter, a spirit that is not splinter, a world that is not splinter. So to observe ourselves, to be aware that we have this thing going on, and the world is still a beautiful place to open up in so many ways. But when we narrow our focus, that's what happens. Raya Mountain Dreamer talked about, she wants to know if we can see beauty even when it is not pretty every day, and if we can source our life from his presence. To find beauty even when we're experiencing something else. And the other thing we need to do is to quiet the critic. This is the part of us that is relentless, not measuring up, that self-reflection is healthy, but self-criticism is damaging. It's limiting. It's putting on layers of protection and opening. And what I know is that we can just quiet that part of us, or even talk to that self-criticism. It's a part of us that wants to keep us safe, that doesn't want us to be embarrassed in public by mistakes we make. But the truth is, that's how we grow. I mentioned Julie Cameron a minute ago. I think she's an incredible writer. We're reading the book about the listening path, but the artist way, so many books she's written. And this is from another one of her books that she writes. Our inner critic measures our beginner's work against the finished work of masters. Our inner critic thrives on comparison and competition. It doesn't know how to say good job or job well done. The inner critic does not believe in creative glee or any glee at all, for that matter. What she's saying is the work we do is not going to be perfect, but it's learning to do more creative, more powerful work. When we know better, we do better. But there's a way we have to learn how to know better. And that's by practicing the presence of being. Practice the presence of becoming. And finally, we want to be grateful for the blessings in disguise. Even if we don't know exactly what they are. Julia Cameron says, when we keep choosing between right and wrong, we spend our energy sorting life out rather than living it. Being concerned about what the right way is, or how am I supposed to show up? How am I supposed to do something? We're just allowing ourselves to live in this way that we, as a Rye Mountain Dreamer says, see the beauty even when it is not pretty. And it's only in the silence, in the willingness for us to reflect on something deeper, can we know this greater truth that's within us, this greater understanding. And when we find a blessing that seems like a curse at first, something uncomfortable, something not what we thought we had asked for in our prayers or our intentions were, then we can observe it. We can just see it and know that there's something greater coming out of it, that it's an opening, it's an opportunity, albeit a frustrating one at times. It's an opening for us to know a greater truth. And even when there's nothing particularly wrong or not a growth opportunity, we can continue to open up and just allow Spirit to come through us in a greater, more beneficial way, more creative way, more powerful way, in whatever way that shows up. And we can just open up to Spirit and say, what blessings are in store for me today? Guide me towards these blessings. And then know that every minute is a blessing if we're willing to be at first and allow these blessings to become through us as us. Because we know that is the nature of Spirit. We know this is the creative power of Spirit, the creative love of Spirit that comes through us when we're willing to be that. Let us go to prayer. In this moment, I know the greatest truth is love. The greatest truth is being. So we just allow that sense of peace, that sense of love, that sense of joy within us, that sense of gratitude to be within us in this moment. And I know from knowing that Spirit is one and that we are one with it, that this peace and joy and love is in every cell of our being. It's who we are. And as we go forth in our simple breath, in our simple way, we know we create that. Spirit through us creates this in our waking life and in all situations. And even when there's a splinter, we notice the splinter, we remove the splinter, and we know that there's a greater everything around us. That we are more than the splinter. We are more than what we are experiencing as misery. because we know there's joy and love and abounds. And Spirit is that through us today and always. And so it is.
Just want to make this perfect.
By thy grace, I open my eyes, awaken my heart, and sing to the skies. By thy grace, I open my eyes, awaken my heart, lay down my disguise. Hear my prayer, soaring on the wings of my song. I'm returning to the source of love where I belong. Hear my prayer, burning like a torch in the night. I'm learning to walk with faith as my light. I open to the mystery of your presence. I surrender to embody my true essence. I have courage to live your divine plan. And I promise to serve love with all that I am, with all that I am, with all that I am, with all that I am.
I just kind of lose myself a little bit when you're singing, so it's all good, all right? Thank you so much, Diana. So this time in our service, we invite you to be part of the law of circulation. I'm so touched by how supportive this community is. Yes, we're talking about financial, but we're also talking about volunteers and just showing up and being here. It's very touching to be in a love-minded community, so thank you for being a part of that. If I could have our ushers come forward. Today, we invite you to be part of the financial contribution that is supporting this, and you can do that in a number of ways. It's listed up on the screen through online donations or texting or checks. We know that some of you give online or have given in the past, so we ask that you take your hand and put it over your heart to represent that which is in the past or the present, and speak this affirmation with us. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
I give thanks to Mother Earth, I give thanks to the Father Sky. I give thanks for the breath breathe in me and the love that fills my life. I give thanks, I give thanks, I give thanks, I give thanks. I give thanks for the Mother Earth, I give thanks to the Father Sky. I give thanks for the breath that's breathing me and the love that fills my life. I give thanks, I give thanks, I give thanks, I give thanks for my blessings. I give thanks, I give thanks for all my blessings. Thanks, I give thanks, I give thanks, I give thanks.
Beautiful, thank you. We honor people who might be here for the first time. I met some people coming in. We always appreciate, whether it's your first time or your first time, maybe your first few Sundays, we invite you to come out to the courtyard with us. There's coffee and snacks out there, as well as if you want to be part of our newsletter, to get that on a weekly basis. And invite all people at the courtyard to sign up if you haven't signed up for some volunteer positions at Sip and Savor, or if you want tickets out there at the information table, that's great. But right now, we'd like to honor those people who might be here for the first time. If you're willing to raise your hand, we have some more information for you. So good to have you here with us today. We appreciate it. And know that any questions you might have, we have a website, or just speak with me after the service. But we have an affirmation. We raise our hand to our new people today, and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for our presence in our community, and so it is. So grateful for that. We also invite you to, like I said, stay after for refreshments. We do have a board meeting later on today, but I'll be around. We do have some discussion around big questions sometimes, and the question today is about what have you experienced in your life that seemed like a curse or a problem, but something good came out of that. So I'd love to hear your stories or share your stories with other people as well. So the gratefulness it is. So there's a call to prayer today that if practitioners could come forward, please, that we have today, that we'll have prayer after the service, or if you're online, you're welcome to join Rob for prayer or discussion of the big question as well. So thank you for being here today. And let's invite our children up. Look at all these children coming up. Michelle, can you get the microphone, please? Give it to Dawn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
This is Dawn, by the way, if you don't know her.
Hi. So today we learned that we are filled with the breath of life and other unseen qualities, and I'll let Lily take it from there. What are you filled with, Lily?
Smartness, braveness, light, love, power, kindness, joy, unique.
Wow.
I am power.
Yay.
All right.
Mm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. So we have a blessing for our children. We raise our hands and we say, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. That's great. Let's all stand for the closing affirmation and our final song. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I am led by Spirit.
I am led by Spirit.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I am guided by wisdom.
I am protected by love.
I am protected by love.
I am here to be a blessing.
I am here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
I am so grateful.
And so it is.
And so it is.
May the pool of love we have gathered here spread its wings and fly far and near from the depths of our hearts to the farthest star. May our love bless everyone. May our love bless everyone. Again. May the pool of love we have gathered here spread its wings and fly far and near from the depths of our hearts to the farthest star. May our love bless everyone. May our love bless everyone.
Love bless everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday.